Okay, people, so now I'm in the X Club, aka / painting room / little mini greenhouse. It's been holding up in here pretty good considering everything. It's been raining hard, as you can see. There's the water. Right? But anyway, I am going to... I don't know what I'm going to do, people. I'm going to take this... Where is it? Oh, God, can't see. Where did it go? I just had plexiglass. Oh, here it is. You see this plexiglass? I've got another one over there. So I'm going to run them up in here. So when it rains, the water will just run and go to the corner. I'll make it so it runs to the corner and then drip down just in the corner versus all over the place. Right? Just, you know, this corner over here seems to be, considering everything, what I did up there, you would think it would be soaking wet here. I don't feel nothing, people. So maybe I fixed that problem. Remember back in the day when I cleaned up there and just was running those things through? Oh boy, I tell you, what an X Club this has been. Either or, it's still here. Oh look, there's my hammer. I like this hammer. You can see it's getting wet though. Can you see how rusted that is? Anyway. Hold on. Okay. Just for the record, people, I can't see that well anymore. I really can't. It's fucked up. You see what I'm doing here? I'm gonna spray this down. But as I'm doing this, I'm thinking about that fucking doctor of mine. Right? Right? Telling me to take him to fucking court. Right? Oh, what the fuck? I'm supposed to go back? You think I'm gonna find another family doctor, people? What do you think? Huh? Okay. What I gotta do... So far, this... Can you see? This will catch the water that's dripping from this seam. Where's my finger? From this seam. And it's gonna run down. But I gotta get this somehow up underneath this thing, and I don't know what the hell. Otherwise, it's just gonna get this all wet. It's always wet. I just got stung on my back. Look at this. I don't know how many years I can keep up with this, people. I just got stung on my back. Like, come here. Like, seriously, man. Look what I did. I shattered it. I was trying to screw in a screw. I guess I hit the glass. It's tempera. And it's shattered, you can see. And look, I found that. I didn't know there was hornets inside of there, but there is. And as I was going to get the camera, there was one on the freaking wood. Take it on my back here. I just got stung. Do you see any more? Somewhere in here. Do you see it?
Is it all red?
Well, yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, I can see it.
Can you see it?
Wait, why's the camera went black? Let me just look at it.
Somewhere.
I see it.
Right? I need something to squish these guys. They're in there. I didn't realize there was hornets in there. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I don't know how much longer I can keep up with this crap. Oh, this hurts. Okay, so we know we got some loose hornets around. As if I'm allergic to these things, people. It was only one. It's on my back. But I knocked their nest. So anyway, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to keep doing this. You can barely see, people. I was talking to my neighbor about 4 houses down. She had last week, when the winds were coming, It was raining and all that shit. 2 trees ripped up out of her yard. Big ones. One fell on her gazebo. I think it almost got her. She was telling me on her leg. I guess she was in it or something and the tree fell. And then another one fell. 2 of them in her yard were uprooted. Right? Because apparently they had root rot because of the water saturation that's been going on in this neighborhood because of all this property development. She said her floors are starting to creak too. And her house is shifting. Right? I mean, fucking right, they're fucking shifting if the trees are, like, being ripped up out of the ground. Anyway. I can't worry about that shit. I wonder if you could use that for art. Like a mosaic or something. I mean, if you're wondering what I'm trying to do, people, I'm trying to, like, stop the fucking leaks. My son said he's going to see if we can fix this before we try and get those guys. My landlady said try and get a hold of the owner next door to see if his guys might help with this gutter situation and this leaking situation over there. But any of this crap, like, I don't know, people. A leaky boat is better than no boat. This room has been a pretty faithful little room all these years. Right. Oh, anyway. I might be able to use this frame when it comes time to use my little grow lights. I don't know how stable it would be though. Boy, oh boy. It's really hard to see these days. I don't know how I'm going to go see my family doctor. I seen him in, December of... Sierra died in March, right? Of 2020. I seen him in, December of 2020? Almost a year ago. He was supposed to fill out my disability form, but he told me to come back. And then, when I was trying to get my daughter's medical records, he told me to take him to court as I was walking out the door. So, that's pretty ignorant shit, people, for a doctor. So you can only imagine what it would be like now. So, but I don't know. My eyes are getting pretty bad. So this is a nice little metal frame. That I could, because they like, you know, if you have a little grow lights, right, you should have reflector, that shiny material. That would be a good frame to maybe have that. I don't know. I don't, it's okay. Just broke. It was kind of heavy for the top. So it's just as well. This porch is rotting out. It was kind of rotten when I moved in. With all my loving, tender loving care, I probably, well, I know I extended the life of this porch, but I don't know. These beams up here, some of them are starting to go. Only in certain parts. I'm wondering about up there, where it meets with the roof. Because down here it's no good, but it's just at the very end. Inside is okay, but the only thing that holds it up is this wall unit. But I have to brace up that wall unit because it's rotting out after all these years. Right? I just don't want it to leak in here, people, that's all. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay, so now it's October 5th, 2021. Do you see? Okay. These ones are organic. And then I got this. I'm not too familiar with this. All I know is it's a good disinfectant, among other things. It's a dewormer for animals, right? I don't know. Hold on. Okay, so the metal lids don't fit on the jars with the plastic lids. I wouldn't recommend putting plastic lids away for long storage because even house moths, those little teeny, they can get up underneath into the rim and they can chew on the plastic, and if they really wanted to, they could get inside. I'm not saying that they won't do that with this one, with the metal lid, get up underneath the rim. The thing is, they can't chew through it. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is oxidization over time will wear out plastic. I mean, obviously, if it's put away out of the light, you know, tucked away like these, well, these ones here are going underneath there, but I'm going to make covers for them. We've talked about that before, right? I'm going to make covers for them, okay? But in terms of long-term food storage, no, I'm not doing that, even if they're in a box. So what we've done, well, what I've done is I got 8 1-gallon, pretty much, just shy that much, 8 1-gallon jars of organic soybean, okay? And I'm leaving this one upstairs, and I'm leaving this one upstairs. Okay, hold on. Okay, so those ones are going down, right? I already got 2 boxes, you can see, packed over there, right? I haven't put oxygen absorbers in them yet. I'm going to do that all at one time, right? Fast, boom, 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 right? I'll probably put 300 to 500 cc's per gallon, okay? I don't want to open the package. Now, this one has a plastic lid, and so it's not going into long-term food storage. I have 2 extra boxes down there, you can see. So here we go. This is the way it's going to be. So with the chia seeds, I got 4 1-gallon jars. 3 of them are going down with metal lids. And I have my mason jar, right? And I think I have another smaller, like a 500 ml, 1 pint of chia seeds kicking around. So before I fill this up with this, I'm going to look for that, and this is what I'm going to try and use regularly around the house. This one, I'm going to try and leave one out. The northern beans, they're all going back underneath there. Hold on. Okay, people, it just never ends. Oh, I was so counting the days. My son took down 4 big boxes with those 4 jars full of beans and soya beans downstairs for me today. And I ordered another 10 more jars, people. That's 2.5 cases. Just to finish up. One way or another, you're making an investment if you're doing this kind of stuff, okay? You can do the Mylar bags. Even if you do the Mylar bags, you're still looking at getting 5-pound buckets, or 5-gallon buckets, and 2-gallon buckets, and, you know, just da-da-da-da-da. So either or. As you can see, tomatoes, the season for starting tomatoes was really crappy. We went through that in the beginning of the year. I managed to get some started, right? These ones were mine, but everything was so cold. It took, anyway, you can see what's going on there. So more than likely, honestly, I'm probably just going to slice them and keep it simple and can them that way. More than likely, I'm not in the mood to be making relishes and chutney or any of that kind of stuff right now. It's that's vinegars and sugars and spices and peppers, and I'm not going to no grocery store to go buy peppers. So green fried tomatoes with cornmeal, I mean, come on, that would probably be good, right? I already have in a jar. It's not like I need them, but in light of the sign of the times, I should be eating them once a week anyway. And then this is the grapes. You can see everything's green. So the last batch I did, see, they don't really, sorry. In order for them to turn yellow, these aren't really yellow grapes in terms of really, really ripe. They start to fall off, right? I had to pick these now because lots of them are already falling off their thing, right? And not only that, but it's been raining hard for the last few days. And this is why I just brought everything in, because it's cold now, right? So, let me take a picture. Can I take a picture? Hold on. Okay. See, my heart was right in the right spot this year for the yard, but it just didn't happen, people. Not really. Okay, this is all outside paint. Next year. And look at those beautiful beans. I'm making chili. I'm just soaking them right now. And really, you don't have to cook these things very long. The last ones I made with the Great Northern white bean there, after I put them in with potatoes and stuff, it worked out really good, people. Okay. This can is okay. Okay? Okay? Not okay. You can see it and you can feel it. Plus, you can see what's going on in here. This is why I like to can my own tomatoes when I can, people. Because when it sits in a can for a long time, this is what happens. Okay, so now it's October 7th, 2021. We're going to start getting into some of these spices and seeds and stuff that I got. You can see what's going on here. I took the miscellaneous bags, you can see. I still have to do the milk powder, but that's for another day because I'm running out of jars here. I have to get more jars. So these are the jars that I'm going to be using on a regular basis. Obviously, I have these. I don't know if I have peas. No, I don't have peas in a big 1-gallon jug. But we have them downstairs. We have the steel oats downstairs. We have the oats downstairs. But in terms of, I think the chickpeas are downstairs in 1-quart size jars, right? But underneath over here, I have the soybean, the navy bean, I don't know, whatever else I've got in there. Plus I ordered more jars, people. So, okay. And then this, you can see, this is fennel. 3 pounds. Right, so some of it's going into long-term storage with vacuum sealed bags. Okay. And we're going to just take a little boo at the nutrients that are involved with a fennel seed. Okay? And of course you can use it for cooking. I normally use it for when I'm making soups, but you can use it for tea as well. Okay. And then I've got more than this, but we're just starting off with these because they're bigger and they'll take up a whole jar. And then whatever's left will go into smaller jars and it will be used, right? And then I'm going to do a day with a little ShaMay, you'll see. Anyway, same thing with this one. Okay? Right? 2 pounds. Right? And then again, you want to see what's going on with that. Now the thing about this one though, too much of this could be carcinogenic, right? Could cause cancer, could cause issues with, when you're pregnant and stuff. So this one here, whether it's grown in California, because this product is from California, and the type of dirt that it's grown in, there was a little warning, but there's not too many choices with these, and I'd rather the warning than no warning in terms of, I decided to buy it because there are lots of nutrients in it. Okay? And if you go to a grocery store and you buy a different product, you may not know. Right? You may not know what this could cause. If this was that serious, they wouldn't be selling it. There was just a warning attached to this particular seed from, I don't know, however it got into the package, whether it was grown in the United States or packaged in the United States in terms of, I think this came from California. Okay? So, with that said, you can almost say that a whole lot of other seeds like this out in the market have the same issue, but you're just not coming across maybe that warning. Okay? This one didn't have the warning. Alright? But, same company. Right? So, just keep that in mind. Alright? Hold on. Okay, so I've only got like 3 more jars left here in terms of larger jars, 1 quart size, until I get some more. I've got some 1 quart coming in with amber, 12 of them, or maybe 12, maybe 16. They were extremely expensive, but they're for the spices on the table, right? For long-term storage. This is going for long-term storage. Oh boy, this smelled really good. It's almost like a fennel, but not quite. It's just got, it seems to have a little more citrus in it. But, okay. But, anyway, I'll put this one away. I'm going to vacuum seal it, right? Same thing with the 2 fennels, right? These ones are going into long-term food storage. Okay, I'm getting those ready with my leftover jars. And I'm going to put, and then whatever's left over is going on the table, and then we're going to repackage them into smaller jars and kind of do something with a ShaMay on that big. Right? So, this is nutritional yeast. These 2 I bought at the grocery store with their shelves slowly but surely emptying out. Now, whether the store ends up closing or bounces back, I don't know. And then I bought these, and then when I was online, I bought this as a backup. So, what I'm going to do, this looks like the majority of this will fit nicely into a jar. So I'm going to do that. And then these other ones will go in smaller jars. I just wanted to show you. Okay. I bought 4 of these because nutmeg whole will last forever. It's kind of like honey and maple syrup. Okay? So all within reason, because nutmeg could be potentially dangerous if you overate it, right? But in terms of if you wanted to barter with it, if worse came to worse, you could, because it's a valuable spice. It actually has healing properties in it. And when they're whole like this, you can store them long-term forever. Now, the reason I'm taking them out of the bag is because the bag is plastic. This is why I like jars. So I'll probably end up getting 2 bags in 2 jars, which will go in long-term spice storage after they're vacuum sealed. Or, depending on what they are, I may have to use an oxygen absorber. But these ones should vacuum seal with just a vacuum sealer, right? But this is why I like to put things in jars when I can. This plastic container used to be round. But over a period of years and years, you can see what's happened to it. Right? I mean, the container itself is still holding the liquid, but obviously it's changed its shape due to oxidization, which could very potentially, well, you know, contaminate the liquid inside, which in this case is for slushies, right? So that's the reason why I kind of like lean more towards jars in terms of once it's put away, people, vacuum sealed and just, you know, like it will sit for years. Okay, I have a can like this full of spices downstairs in their plastic bags. But even those cans, you open them up and you can really smell the spices because, right, they're in a cool, cold state, right, in the dark. But I'm going more out of my mile here in terms of preserving the food. So I just wanted to show that to you. Hold on. Okay, so nutritional yeast. This one is organic. I have Bureau's yeast from way back in the day up in my cupboard. I'm assuming it's almost similar, right, in terms of the B vitamins, but I can't be 100% sure. I don't even know if they sell Bureau's yeast anymore. Maybe they just sell it like this. I don't know. Anyway, we got that. And then the other ones, there's the other 2 packs, plus a little left over. You can see, right? So we'll figure that out later. This one's going into long-term food storage. Some things have to use oxygen absorbers because if you try and vacuum seal too fine of a powder, it's, you know, depending on how fine it is, it doesn't necessarily work. So we'll see. This will probably vacuum seal, but the skim milk powder from over there, I know that won't. Okay. I wanted to point out, just in light of the sign of the times, you know, watching other YouTubers and that type of thing, preppers. Hold on a minute. If you're having a hard time finding jars, okay, just keep in mind,
well, the report itself, which spoke to so many victims,
you could can with these if you had no other choice. If it goes down after the canning process and it stays down, then you're successful. Just like you would be with this one. That's just under worst case scenario. Okay? Just keep that in mind. And then we've got those, 1 jar. We've got 2 fennels. These are going into long-term food storage after they're vacuum sealed. I bought 4 bags. I know. You're probably wondering what I was thinking when I paid $135 just for that. Can you see? That wasn't very much now, was it? But it's a valuable spice. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. And because it's being preserved for long term, it will stay fresh for a long time. Because its ability to store long term. Okay? Okay, so I think I'm going to end this video and then start fresh. Because we got to get into these tomatoes. Okay? You can see, plus I got grapes. So I'm going to end this video with this. My neighbor came by, I think it was yesterday. And she gave me a little bit of food here, you can see. Right? Now, we know I just bought a whole bunch of beans. And whatever I do, people, I'll never be able to make it taste like canned beans. And so when she gave this to me, I'm like, all right. I'm like so happy. Hey, Amari likes these too, right? And then, of course, the kids, they love their Campbell soup. The vegetable soup. Okay? All right. So I thanked her very much. Now, there's a little story I want to tell you about that, though, right? Okay? This one here is going into long-term food storage. These ones I'm going to get into my cupboard, and I'm going to put these away. Now, I have to get a brake bleeder, because I technically could vacuum seal these with a brake bleeder. And then when you use them, you can use your brake bleeder by hand to reseal them versus having to bring out your vacuum sealer. That's one thing I don't have yet, is a brake bleeder for mason jars. Anyway, those I'm going to be cooking with. Okay, these ones are going into long-term food storage, among other things, as I'm going through stuff. But this here, oh yeah, and then of course I'm looking for old jars now. This is something that's been sitting above my stove forever. Obviously, it's like, you know, been steamed on and dust and grease, and it's just I think lavender from my yard. I mean, it's discolored. It's been in the elements in terms of daylight above the stove under, you know, steam and heat and God knows what, right? So it's been there for quite a few years. So anyway, I'm going to open it up, and then that will probably go into compost or something like that, and maybe give it to my blueberry plant. And I have another jar, so I'm on a jar hunt right now until I can go buy jars. But I wanted to talk about, so I'm going to just put it on me for a second. Then I'm going to end this video, because this is important, right? What I have to say about this woman who happens to be my neighbor, and she's a native woman, okay? A really nice lady, and she works for BC Liquor Board, okay? So she's a government worker, okay? And she's coming into retirement soon, and like, oh my God, when she told me that, I said, oh, I feel so sorry for you. You know, you're going to be targeted for your pension plan, right? So, speaking of being targeted, people, and here's the point. Let me go turn this off. Hold on.
Emergency situations, as directed by your neighborhood physician, of course. But have some other medicine on hand in case you start to get...
So you have some medicine on hand, just in case. You could consider nutmeg to be almost like a medicine if you use it wisely. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to finish this video, but I'm going to end it on this woman, right? Because she's been in her place for 20 years, people. Just like another lady over here has been in her place for 20 years, paying rent. Okay? I've been in my place for 11 years, people. Okay? The lady over here, her place has already been bought, and she's already been warned that she has to get out within a year. Because whoever bought her place bought 4 houses in a row, and they plan on ripping everything up like they did over there, right? And who knows? let the lot sit empty for a while, and then eventually tear down more buildings, more houses, and then just start building. So in the meantime, 2 weeks ago, when we had a lot of wind and rain and everything, it's not quite 2 weeks, but within the last 2 weeks, my neighbor over here, right, she had 2 trees ripped up from the ground, right? One fell into her gazebo, right, and almost got her, okay? And after the fact, right, it was determined that the roots were rotting out because of the water saturation that's not even like 5 houses away from me. And this water saturation has been going on for a long time. I know this for a fact because when they used to have the walnut trees, and before they tore down the house that was there, they busted out the pipes in there and let it saturate the whole building. It was a 2-story farmhouse kind of thing, right? And that's where I got a lot of my rocks and flowers from, because they used to have a pond there, and, you know, lots of little bluebell crocodile flowers and those kind of things, right? And obviously walnuts, right? And the water would run and run and run and run, and would just saturate everything. Okay? Eventually they tore down the house, but for whatever reason, you know, I mean, they dug a big fucking hole out there, and I don't know what's been going on with the water pressure right now, but I'm having problems with my water pressure, right? Air in the pipes, and the pressures are constantly changing. It's like somebody tapped into my water line. That's kind of how I feel about it. I have to talk to my landlady about it, right? Because she went and got a water meter. So if somebody tapped into her water line because they're running a fucking grow-op someplace close by, that's the only thing I can think of, because we get grow-ops out here, right? You know, I mean, then it's going to be, her water bill is going to be higher. Is it the water pressure? I don't know. They were just digging up over there. My neighbor over here, who got her 1 year, quote unquote, you got to move because, you know, we're slating to tear down your house. Her floors are shifting. Not only are they creaking and shifting, like my floors are fucking creaking in the last few months, but the fucking trees are like coming right up out of the ground because the roots are rotten. Like, we're talking full-grown, mature trees, people, that you would know are dead because of what's going on under the ground, okay? Because I asked her, are your fucking floors starting to creak? Is your house starting to shift? Because I feel like mine is. She goes, oh yeah. And then not even 2 weeks later, you know, I see her again, and oh my God, the trees, 2 of them fell. One here and one there, almost killed me. Well, didn't kill her, but almost got her, which could have killed her, right? Almost got something. Anyway, right? And she don't know where she's going, okay? Apparently her mom died. Not that I'm talking about my neighbors here, but she's going through what I went through with Uncle John, right? Her mom died. I guess she had a life insurance policy. Her mom left her money, but her sister is withholding it and won't let her fucking have it. And she's got to move, right? She's being told she has to move. So she's trying to take that little bit of money that her mom left her so that she can get herself a little, you know, some little co-op thing or something where she can have long-term security, right? And she's, you know, getting on in age, so it's not like she can start fresh all over again in terms of a young chicken, right? You know, right? And her sister won't fucking let her have access to the money that was allotted to her by her mother. And I'm like, oh my God, you're going through what I went through with Uncle John in terms of, well, at least she knows. We didn't know. They never told Uncle John that he inherited money, people. For 14 months, he didn't know. Okay? Because they always had planned to keep it. That's why as soon as he got sick, within 2 days, it's documented on video, me interviewing Uncle John, and he's telling me to fight to get them the fuck out of the hospital, because within 2-3 days of being in the hospital, they were already talking about keeping him. After they were illegally drugging him, people. And it's not because they wanted to keep him, it was because they were trying to steal his fucking money. Right? And this woman over here, facing eviction, right, has access to clean money, and the one that's in control on a power trip who already has money. And I said, that's the same thing with Uncle John, right? His sister had her own fucking money, right? Working for the fucking union for 40 years as a senior nurse to the province, making good money, has no responsibilities, owns property, right? Has her own life insurance policy. Her fucking mother, is going to leave her money. But she had to go after John's money too. After she took Joan's money and didn't tell John. Right? Because Uncle John said, gee, they've never mentioned anything about Joan's will. Should I ask Judy? And I'm like, well, you do what you want, John. Well, I'm not going to ask because he said he didn't feel that he should ask about Joan's will. He felt that it was his family's responsibility to tell him, and he didn't want to make himself look like that the only thing that he wanted from Joan was money. So he never asked his family, not even once, people, if Joan ever had a will and what was in the will, because he trusted, even though he knew he couldn't trust his fucking family, because he canceled his own life insurance policy to protect the family that he lived with, this family, right, from those money-hungry grubs looking for a superannuation life insurance policy. So he made sure he didn't have one, so they would leave us the fuck alone and not tear our life apart. But he never planned on inheriting money from Joan and never be told about it, because he felt that if she left him money, they would be honorable enough to tell him. And he didn't want to appear like he was money hungry. Where's Joan's will? I want to see. Did she leave me some money? Uncle John was a humble man. Okay. But this neighbor over here has the same kind of fucking problem with her fancy-dancy sister with all the money not giving her sister what's due. And this woman is facing homelessness as the trees are being ripped up out of the fucking ground because of the water saturation, because of all this building that's going on around us, where none of us can afford to move into not even nothing after it's all said and done. Well, the neighbor over here who gave me those cans, after living there for 20 years, she's 20 years, she's 20 years, I'm pushing 11, going on 12 years. This one over here, who technically falls under the UN Indigenous Accord because she's native, right? I don't know what the UN is doing for her, because she's getting evicted too. Where is the government helping her? They're not. But they're always on fucking YouTube with the natives talking about how they're improving the welfare of the native population in Canada. But they're not improving this woman over here, her lot in life. Hell no. If anything, they're setting her up to be fucking targeted once she retires from working from the government. And I told her this. I said, you need to be careful, because the government doesn't want to pay out the pensions because they're broke. Basically, and before they'll pay out your pension, like Uncle John, they're going to make sure that you become non-existent, and they save that cash. And that's why we have a culling of the general population when it comes to the elderly right now, people. En masse. So whatever they're doing with the natives through the UN, it's not benefiting her because she's getting evicted. Right? And she doesn't know where the hell she's going after 20 years of living there. And I said, oh, okay, so that's the one that sold down there just recently, right? The guy that's pressuring my landlady to fucking sell to him. I said, is he Punjabi? She goes, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he's trying to force her out, like, now. That's why she gave me those cans, because she's going through her house trying to mentally prepare for the day when he tries to literally kick her out and not care where she goes, so that he can raise the rent, people. That's all that's going to happen. Oh, what does she pay? What did she tell me she pays? $700, $800, $900 for a 2-bedroom? Right? Basement suite, 4-plex? Right? Been there for 20 years? Right? Once she gets kicked out, that landlord's going to raise that fucking rent to $1,200-$1,300. Okay? He's going to almost double his money, if not double his money, the minute she fucking moves. And I'm like, well, that's illegal. He has to give you at least a year, and he has to help you get to the next fucking location if he wants to kick you out so that he can build. As he's pressuring my landlord to sell to him so he can buy this place, people, and kick me out, and then raise the rent to $4,000 until he's ready to bulldoze all 4 houses on my street. So anyway, this woman, her husband is not well, right? He suffers from health issues, okay? Like, they're in panic mode, so much so that she's offering me a wall unit before she's even moved. And I'm like, well, you need to, like, kind of like stand your ground here and not be so quick, because you know he's just going to rent it out for more money. It's not that he doesn't want you there. He just wants more money. Long story short, people, she ended up contacting the father of the man who bought the place, told the father what was going on, and the father is getting involved, telling his son that his son needs to calm down, right? And understand that that's not the way fucking life really works around here. You know, in terms of haste makes waste. Like, how dare this guy, I don't care if he's Punjabi, Chinese, Muslim, whatever, how dare he buy the fucking corner house down there, duplex, right? Kick everybody out, overinflate the property rents, right? As he's hounding my landlord to sell, so he can repeat the process in my house, not caring where I go, right? As he's making mad fucking money, as he doubles the money in terms of what it would cost to rent this place, just to play the same game all over again with the new tenants when he's ready to tear everything down and change the landscape of the surrounding area so that the houses that remain standing, they shift, their floors start to creak, their trees are falling out of the fucking ground because of the water saturation from all the damage with, you know, big holes in the ground, ripping up pipes and doing this. And like, these property developers, they have absolutely they don't take no responsibility for the harm and injury that they create in the communities that they come in and put pressure on. Well, the government basically plays lip service to everybody. It doesn't matter if you're someone like me or if you're an actual certified, bona fide, 100% First Nations person. Because she's being treated the same way, people. So for anything that the government is with their okie dokie on YouTube with the natives is a bunch of crock. Because it's not benefiting her. It's not. And now that I know that the trees are fucking falling down because of root rot from the water saturation, even though the tree looks alive, right? You know, it kind of makes you wonder how stable the neighborhood really is. I just wanted to tell her story. Well, there was 2 stories in there because that's 2 women, not including myself, who are facing imminent eviction with no place to go. Whether we're being held hostage by so-called extended family members, or whether we're being held hostage to our governments and local businessmen who are clearly just capitalizing off of the demise of the vulnerable. The only thing that's saving my ass in this house right now is that my landlady wants $2 million. So, anytime anyone comes to my house asking if I want to sell, or if they can speak to the landlady or landlords after I tell them that I'm not the owner, right? Well, you know, we want to, I'm like, well, okay, you know, you do realize she wants $2 million, right? oh no, 2 million, 2 million, too much money, too much money. I'm like, well, that's what she wants, but you can give me your card and I'll give it to her. I figure like this, maybe if I can get her $2 million, she'll help me get to a location where maybe I can be safe for a little while longer, in terms of maybe she'll take, you know, $1 million, or no, not $1 million. Maybe she'll take 250,000 or something like that, and put it on at 500,000, and put it as a down payment on another house, and I can make that transition with Amari, right? Because, you know, she's always asking me what I need in terms of like what I'm moving into, and I'm like, I have Amari. You know, I'm kind of looking more in line of one of those, I don't want to say monster homes, but something a little more spacious, because of the, you know, the equipment that's going to end up being required to use more and more on a daily basis. I can still carry him around right now, people, but, you know, in a few more years, it's going to be completely different. Well, I can't go see my family doctor, right? You know what I'm saying? To go see my eye specialist so that I can, I guess, get cataract surgery, because, you know, things are getting dark around here, and whatever else I might need for my eyes or anything else, right? Because, you know, I'm being held hostage with a corrupt healthcare system. I'm trying to get Sierra's medical records, and they're already trying to tell me they don't want to give me anything more than 1 year. I'm asking for them all, people, since the beginning. I figure it will end up being like 10 boxes. That's why they don't want to give it to me, because they fucking know that whatever they were doing with her, people, was a gong show, okay? It was not healthcare, all right? So they're saying, well, we can't, and I'm like, well, why can't you give me since the beginning? You gave me with mine, you gave me with ShaMay's, you gave me with Tisha's, you know, right? Why can't you give me since Sierra? What is it you're hiding, right? Oh no, we're not hiding anything. It's a third party privacy. And I'm like, well, that's a whole lot of I didn't say it, but think about it. If they only want to give me 1 year of Sierra's medical records from the hospital, and they want to hide everything else for the last fucking 15 years, what is that telling you? Who are they protecting through that third privacy? So we'll see what we get. And if they don't give me what I want, I'm going to go to court at the same time for that clinic, people, because they, you know, it's never going to help Sierra because she's gone, right? But, you know, the government, they know that these hospitals are overbilling, committing fraud, harvesting organs illegally, doing experiments on the most vulnerable, like the homeless people. Right? Why don't you want me to see how many times Sierra got a blood transfusion in the last 8 years when she was, you know, after the fact of being illegally evicted from her home in the middle of winter on an accusation that put her into a spiral spin into 8 years of complete misery at the mercy of the professionals in the community helping her. And we know how she ended up, people. Right? So I'm just letting you know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the supervisor lets go by. Right? Everything always goes back to the fucking supervisor. You ever notice that? Right? So, you know, I think it's important for Andre to have his mother's medical files. I think it's important for me to be able to really see what my daughter was going through. Right? Because I was helpless to do anything about it, people. Seriously. I have that video with her in the garage, huffing and puffing. It was in 2019, I'm pretty sure. After they released her from the hospital, and she was going on about how she was in the shower, and they came in, her, you know, whoever with security, put a bag over her fucking head, and literally dragged her out of the fucking shower. Okay. I have Sierra talking about that under duress. As the security guys, before they did that, were watching her with a heart on, okay? Those are her words, not mine. Is it going to be written in her files anywhere? Because I have the video, people. So I can find the date, no problem, once I locate that particular video. Will it be in her medical records that they put a bag over her head? Will it be in the medical records that they had 3 or 4, however many security guys of different ethnic culture, no names mentioned, standing around watching her in the shower, developing hard-ons? Those are her words, not mine. Will it be written in her records, her medical records? No. Does the government have a right to know about it? If they don't know about it already, to which they do. They know more than they tell you. Because they're the ones that instigate shit along. By turning a blind eye to it. By calling it entertainment. Uncle John was entertainment. Andre was entertainment. Sierra was entertainment. ShaMay was entertainment. Amari was entertainment. I clearly was entertainment and still am entertainment. Okay? So what? This native woman over here that the government says that they love so much, is she just entertainment with her husband to them? Because as far as she's concerned, she's facing imminent homelessness because the government can't control the housing market because it brings in ultimately too many dead bodies or that extra cash when they flush out the elderly from their home and then lock them up like a dirty secret through our healthcare system, aka Uncle John and his friends, to which they're still doing to tens of thousands of elderly as they hold family members hostage to their political agendas. Okay, so that's how I'm going to end it, on a can of beans. Okay? Thank you to my neighbor. Nothing like a can of beans.